Hi, I'm Paul Grenier. This is Whiskey and Wood, bringing the people, the stories, and the success to you. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and these guys and gals are out to get a piece of it. Why Whiskey and Wood? Why not? Hello everyone, super excited for this episode of Whiskey and Wood featuring the myth, the man, the mustache, Matthew of M2 Lumber. Matt, it's been a little while. You know, last time we ran into each other, you came to IWF, you hung out at our booth and,
that's
chatting
right,
with everybody that came in. It was awesome.
We sold some kilns that week. Y'all
We
did
did. That's
you sell like
that's the goal.
10 or 12 kilns? That was crazy.
Yep. Yeah. No, it was a good show, good turnout.
It
Met
was.
A lot of customers came in to visit us like yourself. And so what have you been up to since then? Sounds like a lot.
Yeah, we've been just busy as all get out, man. Been crazy. That was last August, right? So
yeah,
we've done a lot of milling, obviously, and lots of kiln drying. But I'd say in the last year, the biggest thing that we've changed is that we've really pushed our custom furniture a little bit more than we had in the past. So we've stayed really busy with some custom furniture builds, with some projects. I've slowly stepped away from my day job, which I think most people that follow me online knew for the last 6 years. I've always had a day job as a manufacturing engineer. And that keeps you a little busy. I was doing nights and weekends. You had a day
job. I saw that come across my news feed, and you said you were quitting your day job. I'm like, oh my God, you do so much with your other business. That is like 2 full-time jobs you were carrying.
Yeah.
And for people who don't follow you, you put out some of the greatest content, super educational. Like if I had to describe you, it would be like an Elton Brown meets Ace Ventura. And it's like, you explain the science. I think you take a lot of the fear out of buying locally sourced wood and just the education of different species, pith grain orientation, movement in wood, things you can't control, how spalting occurs in wood, and that normal lumber yards will throw that away. And we see that as a great value. And really what you do with saving the trees, that's what iDRY is all about. Keeping stuff, save the trees.
That's
Buy
right.
some of these shirts at m2lumber.com. Is that right?
Yep.
M2lumber.com. And make sure you check out Matt's videos. They're amazing. Lincoln Street Woodworks video. You guys killed it. Super educational, super quick. Funny as always, the best content out there. So kudos to you for really educating the public. But so you just quit your day job.
Yep.
Well, what was your day job? Transmission?
Yeah, so I have a background in mechanical engineering. So I've worked in manufacturing for the last 15 years. I did a couple years working for GE, making large gas turbines. And then for the last 10 years, I was working in the automotive industry, building automatic transmissions, a German company called ZF.
Those are still like UFOs to me. I've tried to understand automatic transmissions, and I still...
I worked there for 10 years and I understood the components that I was working on, which was manufacturing of gears. But as far as how the whole thing functions, I mean, it makes sense. You can explain it, but it's still pretty impressive what they're able to get out of such a small package. It's mind-blowing to me. Yeah. So simultaneously to that, you were running a full-fledged hopping woodworking business out of your house. Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
Yep. Yeah, like you said, it was very stressful. It was very, lot of hours. I'd say probably easily 80 hours a week for the last, 6 years. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the part where I got to be outside milling wood, drying wood, building furniture. That was the part I enjoyed. The part that I started to not enjoy was my day job, going to work. And I was very fortunate that they let me slowly step away from that.
Okay.
So when I first approached the company ZF about wanting to go out on my own, they actually let me work part-time, which is pretty unheard of for someone my age and in that industry. COVID happened during this time too, so there was already kind of an upset to the normal work-life balance anyways. I think that had a little bit to do with it, but they did. They let me go part-time and start working 4 days a week, and then I did 3 days a week, and then I did 2 days a week, and then for the past 6 months, I was doing 2 days a week, and then I finally just said, "I'm done, guys. I gotta go." Yeah, exactly.
How did the whole wood portion start? When did you start M2 Lumber?
So I've always done woodworking, building furniture and building just little tiny things. My dad had a wood shop. His first wood shop was a really sketchy basement, dirt floor. Yeah, dirt floor, like dim lighting, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type wood shop. And then, as he got, I'm sure more financially able to later on in life, I'd say when he was in his mid 40s or so, and I was a young adolescent, he had a nicer garage workshop. And so ever since I was, 8 or 9 years old, I've been in a wood shop playing around with wood. And when I got done with school, that kind of just fell back into that as one of my hobbies that I already had experience with. I enjoyed doing it. Also, it was, I thought it would be something, as a young person out of school and debt, and I had young kids, I was looking like I can make a little extra money on this side.
Yeah.
And I got to give a shout out real quick to our local, there's a woodworkers guild here in Greenville. It's the Greenville Woodworkers Guild. Cool. They're a great organization. It's like $15 a month, and I was a member there for several years before I had a wood shop or anything. And they have everything. It's a huge facility. I think it's got to be at least 3,000 to 4,000 square feet or more. And they got all the tools you need and everything. So that was a great place.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So when you can learn they have classes there too, so you can learn a lot of skills and stuff that you could do. So I was a member of there for a little while, did some woodworking, got a little out of control with that, started building some tables and furniture for people. And then in 2015, we moved away from the city, moved out in the country where we are now. And I have 4 acres of land. I have no regulations because I'm out in a rural area. And that's kind of when I decided, hey, I'm going to try this. Like Matt Cremona was like, peaking on YouTube at that time with all the stuff he was doing. And I was like, I'm going to try this sawmill urban lumber thing, like what Matt's doing, everything else. I could go around, I could snatch up some logs and I could do that. So for the first year or two, I actually just took it to another local sawmill and had it milled up. No, I'd say the first year we did that. That worked out pretty well, but we had to wait on, the wood to get milled up sometimes. It took longer. Sometimes it wasn't cut the way that we wanted it to. And he has a circular sawmill too, which makes about a 3/8 inch kerf. So when you're cutting up walnut and every cut is 3/8 of an inch, 4 cuts, you throw a whole board away. Yeah. So that started to get expensive. So that's when we went out and bought our own Woodmizer sawmill.
And kerf, that's the waste product that the saw creates as it makes.
Correct. Right. Yeah. And so a bandsaw mill like we have is, I think, 3/32, very, very small kerf. It doesn't throw out. The chips coming out is just like a powder. It's not even really chips when it's milling that. So we had that. We quickly milled up a whole lot more wood than I ever needed when I bought that sawmill. None of this was ever planned, as you can kind of tell as I'm walking you through it. It just kind of happened. So I was like, I'll just go out and buy a sawmill. So I bought a sawmill and we started milling it up. Before you knew it, I had like 10,000 board feet of wood sitting around. It's like, what am I going to do with all this? So I decided to try to sell it online on Facebook Marketplace because that had just started too.
Yep.
That worked out pretty well. We were selling wood online and people were coming to pick up neat little slabs, especially the cool ones, like, the burly ones and the stuff with spalting in it and stuff like that. But I did start to notice everyone asking, is this kiln dried? Is this kiln dried? And I knew what kiln dried wood was. And I said, no, it's not kiln dried. So after about 6 months, I realized if I really want to be able to sell this stuff, I'm going to have to kiln dry this wood. And I already knew about iDRY. I already knew about you guys. And I was like, I want it, but I'm not sure yet. So I built a solar kiln. The first kiln we had was a solar kiln, and I built it myself. It holds about 2,000 square feet. And it works. It does work.
You're good. Did you use the Virginia,
I used the Virginia
Tech design?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Virginia Tech design.
It works well.
And the Southeast, right? It's hot. We got about good 6 to 7 months of summertime weather where it's working. But I did also learn the drawbacks of it. Really thick slabs and like 2 inches plus and dense hardwoods like white oak. I did white oak once, 8/4, and it took 8 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
to truly get it dry. And I say truly because One of the other aspects, if you're going to be kiln drying wood, you should probably get yourself a decent moisture meter. And we've got a Delmhorst J2000, which has the 1.5-inch thick probes in it, so you can really get down to the center of the wood and check the moisture. And to really get that dry, it took 8 months. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so, it was free to operate. It cost me, I think, $6,000 to build, but we kept running out of wood. This was when COVID hit. So COVID started hitting, everyone was out of work, everyone had money from the government, everyone had time off. We were working 14-hour days. I was running out of wood. Like I could see it. I said, in about 3 months, we're gonna have no wood left because I can't kiln dry it fast enough. And that's when I called you guys and I said, hey man, I've got to do this. I've got to get this iDRY. And we got it the following February, got it installed. And that machine has been down, I think, maybe 8 days total in 2 years.
Just running constantly, getting
nonstop.
Yep. That's the idea with those. And, bring it back, you say truly kiln dried. And to your education, you can dry wood by throwing it outside, stacking it up and stickering it, but you can also still ruin wood that way or not properly get it dried to the core and have someone build a beautiful piece of furniture with it. And then all of a sudden, after one winter in the house, the thing is popping and moving and cracking. And that's what we don't want to do, right? We want to be able to take your mother's tree off of her property and create a piece of furniture that's going to last forever. And to do that, it needs to be kiln dried properly. Your videos.
Yeah. That was one of the things. When we have a full wood shop too, and so we have a CNC machine, and we're constantly, we're always flattening these slabs afterwards, and so that is the quickest way to tell if wood has been kiln dried properly is when you go to work it. If there's stress built up in the wood because it was dried either too fast or it wasn't dried all the way down to the core or something like that, you will tell as soon as you go to start machining that piece of wood. I've had on our CNC machine a 2-inch thick piece of slab of wood. It'll raise up on the ends and stuff as you start to machine away the surface. You get down to moist wood. It'll just start moving while you're working it. Yeah, it's crazy. So it's very important to make sure that it's kiln dried properly. Yeah.
So furniture business has been booming for you. You've been really busy with that. So I guess let's get back to leaving your job, starting this new venture. Mm-hmm. How did you know the time was right to jump into this full time now and completely cut ties with the other?
So one thing I've always done since I decided this was a business, again, it was never really planned. It was all kind of accidental the way it fell into place. But one thing I always have decided with every major step along the way, buying the sawmill, buying the kiln, buying our loader, our CNC machine, and then me quitting my day job, I always let the natural organic growth and the customer demand tell me I needed to do that.
Yeah.
So when I knew I had to buy an iDRY is when we were running out of wood because I couldn't dry it fast enough. So I was like, I got to go buy an iDRY. And honestly, I need a second one, Paul, but I don't have anywhere to put it right now.
We'll work on it.
And then we got the iDRY, and that was great. And then it still became, okay, now we got this iDRY. We need a more efficient way to mill wood and move around. So we went out and we bought a loader so we could actually pick it up because we used to have to just load the kiln by hand. That was terrible. And then, we got the full shop, the CNC. I bought a lot of equipment to make the furniture building and the processing of it more efficient. And there's still more that I'd like to buy, but I bought a lot in the beginning that I knew what I considered to be like a minimum. And then as the furniture demand kept coming in and I was watching my lead times for furniture grow more and more and more, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. It's like, okay, if I have 12 weeks worth of work that I need to do, I need to work at my other job less. Like that doesn't make any sense. And so that's basically what I saw. And I watched that for the last 6 months of it stay that way. Meanwhile, unfortunately, I'm getting paid for my day job and I'm just putting that money away because I didn't really need it anymore. And so, I did it as safely as I could. And after I did that for 6 months, I told my wife, I said, look, I'm going to have to just leave. And there is risk, of course, when you do that. But it was also I wanted to get a little bit of life balance back because, I've got a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old and my wife works full time. And I hardly ever had any time to do anything with them. And I knew that if I were able to just at least let my day job go. I could do this like a day job and have more time with my family, which was really important.
Super important.
So that's where we're at now, where I'm now working only 50 hours a week, maybe.
I guess that's better than what it was before. So is your lead time still, are you still like 12 weeks out on furniture?
No, I was very surprised with how it's so funny, and there's a word for it. I just can't remember what it is. It's like a multiplying effect or something, but like the sum of the pieces is greater than the total or something like that. But like just by having an extra 2 days off, my lead times drastically changed. Yeah. And it's because you lose efficiency between that. When you interrupt your work, like if I was working M2 lumber Monday and then day job Tuesday, Wednesday, and then M2 lumber Thursday, and just that interruption in between drastically slowed me down. And so now just doing M2 lumber full time, it's so much easier. Focused. Yeah, it's so much easier to stay on top of what I need to get done, to stay organized, to manage the workflows and everything. And so our lead times now are like 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. It's so much faster.
But still busy, right? You're still cranky. You still have customers coming in, and I hear fear from new guys thinking about this venture, worried about the economy, but the guys that I work with and talk to, they say they're busier than ever. Last year was their best year ever as they continue to grow and build their brand. And, speaking of building your brand, how did you start pulling in all of these customers? Your awesome social media presence, and you're really good at that. Is that just something that came natural to your personality? And
yeah, I think it'd be a little unfair to say it wasn't natural. Before I studied and majored in engineering in college, my first major was actually theater.
Oh, so that makes so yeah, I can tell because the videos are just so fun to watch, and you're a character, and it's super entertaining.
Yeah. So so that part comes a little natural to me. And plus, I think that if you're truly passionate about something, like you can't hide it anyways. Like people will see that, they will know it. And if you've ever watched anything, it could be a video on fly fishing or how to organize your office or whatever. When someone's passionate about it, it automatically ups the level of entertainment. It hooks you. You're more curious about, why is this person so passionate about organizing an office? I hate that. And so you're watching it just for that aspect sometimes. So yeah, I mean, the branding part, that was something that one of the benefits of working in industry for 10 years, I had a little bit of a role switch early on in my career with the transmission company, the automotive company. And I went from engineering background or engineering function to what they call a business ops leader role. And so that's more or less like working with the people and organization and projects and stuff like that. And it's more management stuff than it is engineering. And so that was interesting to me to learn all these new things. And I took classes within the company, on business negotiations, marketing and advertising, people, team flow and teamwork and stuff like that. And I really got interested in the marketing and advertising side of things. And so I've read dozens and dozens of books and listened to audiobooks on, best practices and ways to do that. And so when I decided this was going to be a business, that's when I went in. I was like, okay, I need a name. I need a logo. I need something. I need a catchphrase, a slogan. I need these basic things so that people will see and hear and know, oh, yeah, of course, I know who that is. And I think that's worked out pretty well. And then, of course, putting it in the right places too: Facebook, Instagram, Google search, YouTube, all those different places.
Yeah. And I think brand recognition, that is really, once you start to build up the brand recognition, then your products, people start asking a little bit more money, and they start coming to you looking for your stuff. And
yeah.
It's been, and what would be the biggest advice you give to somebody starting out as far as getting your company name out there? Would it be start on Facebook Marketplace? Would it be learn Google Ads? Which would you?
I would say both. So there's definitely something to be said. There's tons of research on this. They call it weak references or weak relationships. People, for some reason, like if I went and said, oh yeah, you should definitely buy an iDRY, that alone, if I know that person, would be enough to convince them to seriously look into it because they know me and they trust me. So there's a lot to be said about personal relationships and word of mouth. So for sure, you should advertise locally. You should tell all your friends. I know a lot of people that start small businesses and they like are afraid to tell people. I'm like, you better kick that to the curb.
Scream it from the mountains, right?
You need to be preaching I don't care how annoying you're afraid it might be. I'm like, you're serious about this. And I mean, I still think about it back in the day and kind of laugh when, people used to see, and you'll get these comments when you're starting out. Oh, that's cool. You got a little business going. Oh, that's, it's a little demeaning the way they phrase it and they say it like, oh, that's neat. A little side business. And now I'm like, my little side business is I quit my day job and now it's a business. So everything has to start there and work its way up. So definitely don't be afraid to tell everyone, even in the very beginning, this is my brand. This is what we do. This is my logo. Like, that's it from the very beginning. Have that and stick with it. You can, tweak it and modify it as you move along. Like the original name of my company was M Squared Innovations.
Yep.
And I was like, after about a year, I was like, that does not really jive well with what we do. Like, I thought it was a cool name, but it's not clear what we do. So we just changed it to M2 Lumber. That's a little bit more clear and obvious.
You can make those tweaks. You can try new things. And as a small business, it's always a little bit frightening. But somebody told me once who started a business, he's like, you always feel like you're kind of faking it at the beginning because you're making it up as you go. And then even when you get successful and things are going, you always kind of feel, but all of a sudden you're the real deal. You're doing it. You're supporting yourself. You're supporting your family off something that you were passionate about and really enjoy. And that's been the best part of my job, is to work with guys like you who have this dream of not working in this warehouse and managing people and working with my hands and being outside. Like, the lumber drawing is a cool aspect, like the wood industry, but the guys that are in this industry are just super down to earth people that are great to deal with. It's been a pleasure seeing businesses flourish. So what do you think's next on the horizon? What's your big thing? Where's M2?
I have one big next plan, which I can't really say anything about right now.
Okay, top secret.
But if it comes to fruition, it will be big. Yeah. So basically just a little bit of expansion of the business. But for right now, just continue milling. Now that I quit my day job, I've got so much more spare time. So we're going to be milling wood like crazy, basically get all the logs off the ground, get them cut up, get them milled up, and just waiting to go into the kiln, because that's still the slowest part of the process. Even though it's fast, I can kiln dry a week to 2 weeks, but I can mill 1,000 board feet a day easily.
Always cut faster than you can dry, no matter how.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I do want to get possibly a second one if I can find a place to organize where I can put that, because we already have the demand for it, especially the slower drawing hardwoods like white oak and stuff. That's been really high here lately. But yeah, I'm looking forward to taking it to probably back to working 100 hours a week. Unfortunately, but yeah, a little bit of expansion into similar avenues, but a little bit more than what we've been doing here recently. I guess one thing I can talk about is that we're going to start trying to do is online lumber sales. So I haven't done that yet. Yeah. Everything that we've done so far has really been in person.
Yep. And I was checking out your store. You have a few, what was it, like a coat rack and some other products that are kind of ready that are shippable. Is that?
Yeah, those are tough. Those are tough to do. If you can come up with something really unique that no one else has done, then for sure you can sell a lot of those. I sell a few of them. It's not enough to where, it's a big focus of mine. And it's because I'm making sort of commodity items. Yeah, like the shaker peg shelf. If you Google shaker peg shelf, there's dozens of them, hundreds of them. So I'm competing with everybody, including ones that are probably made in Mexico or China. So those are going to be really cheap. But if I can make them out of, like American black walnut or cherry or some spalted wood or something like that, that can kind of make it unique sometimes to want to sell online. But, and everybody has their different opportunity costs. And so the way I look at it is, even though those could possibly sell better if I made them cheaper, I'm probably better off putting my time and effort into something else where I could make a little bit more money at it. That's all.
Yeah. And if the guys who are listening to this, if you think that this industry of live edge slabs and unique furniture is dead. Go to a Home Goods or go to a Hobby Lobby with your wife, walk around, and you'll see that they are trying to emulate live edge furniture, cookie end tables with like this Taiwanese type of wood. Matt probably knows what it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Super wood.
It's usually acacia or olive wood. Those are really popular. You see those all over the place because they get it from China and India, and they get it dirt cheap. So they can import it in here to the U.S. But yeah, no, Home Depot is actually selling live edge slabs now. It's unbelievable.
And little kits that you can put together to make it look like a live edge slab. And really, the biggest challenge that I've been seeing and something that we're working on is I have so many guys out there making cool things, and they don't understand the Google ads, the Facebook, how to get your brand out there, how to have people find you. And we at iDRY kind of pulled back our map a little bit as we did some market research to see how can we get people to our customers better. And really the answer is we're going to be rolling out a marketing program that's going to be pretty much turnkey subscription that you'll have Google ads. If you don't want to know and you don't want to learn
that's
the whole marketing side of things, we want to try to take care of that as much as possible, because if somebody near you Googles kiln drying, everybody within hour and a half, 2 hours should come up. M2 lumber. If I'm in your area, you do a really good job. You pop up first so that people can see. So, super.
And we've got our website with our SEO optimized, and we've got Google ads running for furniture. We've got YouTube ads running. We've got search ads running for everything that we do, not just the kiln drying, but for the custom milling, the wood sales, the kiln drying, the custom, all of that stuff. And that is important. And it can be expensive, but all I can say is try it because it's worked. There's a reason why I have not stopped. I'm afraid to stop paying it every month because I know how.
Itself, right?
Here, it'll take me 2 seconds. I want to just to share with everybody as a real example. In the last 30 days for my website, we've had 5,377 website visits in the last 30 days. And that is 100% from Google ads and Facebook ads. Over 59,000 impressions from Google ads, 998 website clicks. That's 1,000 people clicking on an ad that are going to come to my website for whatever reason. And that's never a bad thing.
No.
And I think we've got subscribers on our website too. I don't know how many we have. We've got over a couple thousand subscribers as well. And that's really key. When you get a subscriber, when you have their email address, that is like the best thing you can hope for, because now you can, whenever you want, reach out and touch that person, whether they want it or not. And you can say, hey, I just pulled 1,200 board feet of black walnut slabs out of my kiln. And maybe they didn't even know they wanted black walnut slabs, but you've emailed them and told them about it. And now they're like, shit, damn, I need to go get some of that. So that's important to do that too.
That's what it's all about, is collecting leads, nurturing those leads, keeping in contact with them, sending them great videos, educating them. And at some point, if they stick around, at some point, they're going to end up using your services. I'm pretty confident of that. So again, just killing it. Awesome videos. We're going to put the link to his website, all his amazing, funny content. Right after you watch this, go watch some of Matt's videos. He's out there, he's killing it.
We don't have a whole lot on YouTube right now because I haven't had time, but that is one of the things also. Now I quit my job, we're going to be doing more YouTube videos of milling, of kiln drying, and all kinds of good stuff. So. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that content as well. So subscribe, follow M2 Lumber. And also this month we have free moisture meter with any deposit. Deposits are still only $500. Join the club, start your own business, leave your job.
Yep.
What Matt does.
Yep. Work outside every day. It's beautiful.
Work outside, life balance, be your own boss. What's better than this?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Living the dream.
Yep.
Cool. Well, hey, we'll get this edited. We'll get it out to you.
Okay.
Super. We appreciate it. I'm going to come visit you once you get this other thing up and running.
Awesome.
And I'm not just saying that because it's a blizzard here and I'm jealous of your warm weather. So
it's actually cold here today too. It's like 38 only. So
t-shirt weather.